First off, a lot of people are hyping up Tom versus Wile E. Coyote for the Champions Belt this year, and that makes me so happy. In case you don't already know, I changed my mind on that matchup, and it quickly rose to one of my top most wanted. Like, top 3 most wanted. Really hoping it wins. Oh, and also Marvin the Martian Manhunter versus Silver the Hedgehog Surfer came out. I'm just gonna try and make this one short, since I really want to give a ton of attention to my Spider-Man video. Seriously, I'm planning on that being one of the biggest passion projects I've made for this channel yet. And also, I am really sorry for all the times I've had to say I had to rush a review or get it out quickly. I'm a pretty busy guy. I'm not too terribly busy, but I'm busy enough. And I usually like to get these reviews out before the next episode comes out. And given that I usually tend to put most of my focus on the more bigger projects, these reviews usually don't get as big of a focus on them. And again, it's not that I don't like making these reviews. I really do love making them. And even then, my thoughts in the season rankings are more finalized in the ones in these reviews, so yeah, it doesn't really matter. Enough chatter, let's get into it. Wait, actually, before I do, let's talk for a bit. So, this matchup, I feel like it was fighting an uphill battle. People were already burnt out on Marvel vs. DC, and to have another similar scale fight to the last one, which had just come out 1 episode ago at the time of its announcement, I can definitely see why people were upset by this. And I should know, because I was annoyed too. And I love these two characters a whole lot, and this was definitely my preferred for both of them. I get why people are saying both should have fought another character from Marvel or DC or whatever, but let's be real. You would have been just as, if not more, annoyed if that happened. So, I think this is the best case scenario. And these two fighting each other, it just feels right too. Their personalities and stories are very similar, which usually doesn't allow for a ton of banter, but it does allow for great character moments, which this episode excels at. Now, the episode itself, I really loved the analyses. Like, a whole lot. Like, way more than I thought I would. It's just so, I really hate using this word, but enjoyable to hearing them talk about their characters and stuff. And surprisingly, most of the jokes land, especially the Jean Grey doormat and Boomstick failing to pronounce Mr. Mixix Pitalik. Got him. Those both got a huge laugh out of us. And I really like how they decided on talking about their personalities and tragedies a lot more than just their powers, abilities, and feats. I actually really like these rundowns. Both cutaways I like pretty well. I love Boomstick setting himself on fire with nothing but a lighter, which Cap pointed out probably being the case because of him drinking so much alcohol, his very body is flammable. That's just hilarious. Also, I really need to check out Community. It also kind of explains his sunburn and Surfer's analysis too, even though that definitely wasn't intended. Then there's the fight, and I gotta be real, this fight had to grow on me, and it has done nothing but get better for me over time. My first watch and the reaction wasn't the most positive. We still all had a good time, but we just thought it was a little disappointing. But after rewatching it, I think that I was able to have a much better outlook on this animation, while I was actually taking it all in for myself. Our initial thoughts on the episode are reserved for the reactions, whilst the reviews are more condensed and subjectified. Most of the time, anyway. Those reactions are meant to just be us having a good time watching an episode together. It's not us stating our finalized thoughts on the episode right then and there. It takes a rewatch to truly soak in that detail, and rewatching this did the trick for me. Sure, Surfer could have used more abilities than just the bare minimum, and the actual fighting could have lasted a bit longer, but both of those have a catch. While Surfer does have a ton of abilities, I dare you to name one off the top of your head that isn't knowingly shared by another comic book herald. You could have used more, and while shooting lasers and stuff isn't exactly anything new, it's pretty much what Surfer is known for. It allows for more time to make Silver Surfer feel like Silver Surfer. And the same goes for Manhunter. He uses his telepathy, cloning, and shapeshifting, stuff he's known for. I appreciate that they went down this route. Oh, and I can't believe they just confirmed Barbie vs. Oppenheimer. Like, come on, they have the sprite model for him, why not? Really hoping it's after Bill vs. Discord. Now, the second point about there not being enough fighting, it is totally balanced out by the ending to the fight. Just skipping right to that. The two actually figure out that they're meant to kill each other without directly finding out that they're in a death battle. And that makes sense because the two aren't really fourth wall breakers. They don't know why they have to fight, they just have to, and they don't want to. It's meta without directly breaking the fourth wall, and it allows for such a somber ending that it's truly a gut puncher. Fading back to black and white helps add to the atmosphere as well. This is something we've never really seen in Death Battle before. Do I wish there could have been more fighting? Yeah, sure. But there are plenty of other fights, especially ones with comic book heralds, where the two are just being flying bricks. If I want to see that, I can go watch any of them. Now, you are entitled to your own opinion, obviously. If you really do think that, all the power to you. I'm just saying that it's nice that they decided to go down a different path for this one, giving us something new that we haven't really experienced before in a death battle. I think it's really cool. Oh, and I didn't mention this, but both Surfer's monologue and Manhunter saying his wife's name before passing on are just awesome. I love them. Now, another thing I want to talk about is how simply watching this fight is such a treat. This is one of the most visually stunning death battles since... I don't know, actually, never mind. Sauron versus Lich King, maybe? That wasn't too long ago. Never mind, I didn't say anything. I've been saying that for a lot of episodes this season, but what I mean is I can barely think of any departments in the visual area that fall flat here. The models are smooth as butter. I didn't notice any jank. Like, seriously, look at some of the shots here. Surfer catching Manhunter's I-beam and chucking it back with a very seamless spin. Manhunter slicing the moon into 3 giant chunks. I wouldn't exactly call it visually impressive, not because it isn't, but because it's kind of the same kind of standard that we've seen for death battles nowadays. But it's still just cool. Just because we know what to expect with this kind of stuff doesn't make it any less cool whenever they do it. It's the time and effort put in by people, not AI, that truly makes this show and so many others so great to watch. All of this on top of the gorgeous background of space looming over the two, while there are so many planets, stars, and the works all around to make it not boring, makes this such a visual treat. It even has one of the best hand-drawn shots in the show's history, and Manhunter dragoning up, I guess. Seriously, how long did it take to do this? I've actually noticed that out of all the Marvel vs. DC episodes we've received this season, all of them have their own thing that they excel at. Ant-Man vs. Atom excels in creativity, Jean vs. Raven in hype, and this one in pure spectacle, both from a writing and visual standpoint. This battle also is very good at fan service too, from the Space Hawaii cameo in the background, which actually explains the comet that we saw in the beginning of that fight. Adding details to previous ones that had zero purpose. I love this show. There's also some miscellaneous Easter eggs in The Office, and a bunch of other things that hint towards the true meaning of the conclusion to the battle, which I have not found and probably won't, to be honest. Oh, and the two not knowing why they were placed in the battle also explains the intro. Oh, and I adore the noir aesthetic. No further comment. Capsirus pointed out how this setup makes absolutely no sense. And yeah, he's right on the money, he's correct. But someone in his comments section, I don't know who you are at the moment, I'll just put it on screen right now, thank you, pointed out, however, that it was because, like I said, they don't know why they were pitted against one another. That's genuinely, again, really clever. Both voice actors do incredible, and the music Mind Over Matter is also a great background soundtrack. Though not something I see myself listening to on its own. I want to say more, I really do, but school just started back up for me. My friends and I are finding more time to hang out, and I really want to work on that Spider-Man video. So, on that note, I'm giving this an 8 out of 10. It doesn't really have any major problems, but other episodes I just prefer. It is my new favorite Marvel vs. DC fight we've had since Red Hood vs. Winter Soldier, I think. Actually, now that I think about it, 3 out of the 4 Marvel vs. DC fights in Season 7, besides the obvious outlier, were actually really good. Really hoping this one doesn't turn out like Phoenix vs. Raven, where my hype for it kept slowly dwindling down. I feel like we shouldn't consider this episode just a Marvel vs. DC fight, because those kind of just have a labels, they're just flying brick fights, or this may be a Marvel vs. DC episode, but it's something different, and despite its placement in the season as of now, you can't ignore that. I hope I enjoy it just as much as I do right now in a couple months or weeks. Don't know where I'd place it on the ranking, but I'm gonna save that for my full season ranking as of now, so again, I guess it doesn't matter. And as for the next time, God, I am so excited. Our first ballot winner, Bill vs. Discord. Again, I'm rushing this, so I'll keep it quick and to the point. As I just said, I'm so excited for this one. I really can't wait to see Gravity Falls be talked about. Actually, Bill's preview already came out, and it's so amazing and surreal. I really loved it. And I also can't wait to learn about Discord. I heard that the waiting period will probably be very toxic, which I haven't noticed, but I'm just gonna say that while I am rooting for Bill, Discord is definitely winning this one without a doubt. But Bill's comeuppance in the show was super satisfying, so I bet it'll be the same here. The crew is hyping this up as something really special, and I can't wait. Again, sorry for really rushing this one. I probably messed up a lot of line reads here. See, I just did it now, so my bad, I guess. I definitely want to give it more spotlight in my full ranking, but as of now, this is the best I feel I can give out very quickly. Did you think this episode was really good or disappointing? Say it down in the comments, and I will not read them. Check out both Capsirus' review and his channel, and also vote for Akali vs. Kiriko alongside Tom vs. Wily, because that's the matchup he's going for. Counting on y'all for that. Anyways, I'm gonna go now. See ya. Wait, actually, why didn't Surfer initially phase through the asteroids even though he does later? Is he stupid?